Okay, so like I just said, this is Justin.
Hello.
If you guys don't know him, he is my husband and my sidekick for all things Cincy. And I wanted him tonight to come on here and really share with you guys just a different perspective, a different side of what it looks like to, again, I said this before it was recording, to be successful in your business, regardless of transitions and consistencies that are I guess regularly practiced, and people that do well through transitions and how that can help your business as well. So yeah, so I'm
Yeah,
gonna let Justin start. If y'all have questions along the way for him, please ask in the chat. He's an open book, so I'm gonna
yeah,
go ahead and
and
let you
that's
take
what I
the
want to
floor.
start off with. I have some things I want to talk about, but I'm just always curious to know, like, if you can go ahead real quick and just tell me, like, as far as your business goes, Cincy, what's one thing right now that you wish was going better or that you're struggling with right now in your Cincy business? So
That is
just
a great
one
question.
question right now. And like I said, if you're open to it, put in the comments because I'm wanting to see with the 3 points that I want to talk through. I'm assuming some of these points are going to be on there, and that's going to have me frame how I do I guess the content and what I say about the content. Cause I have like some themes I want to go through and I just want to see, cause I have a suspicion that a lot of you are going through the same things. And so I want to spend more time talking about habit or a consistency in that area you're struggling with. And that's what I want to see. Okay. So
Can you see him?
literally consistency, time management, sponsoring, always sponsoring. Okay. And that's something that everybody struggle. I'm telling you right now, direct sales in general, you can never sponsor enough. So that's always going to be an ongoing issue with Cincy, with any direct sale is sponsoring and business sponsoring, getting new customers, getting new people to join. That's everywhere is getting new people to be bought into the
Well,
business.
and I'll even say this before Justin starts, I've been doing this a long time, just like many of you. So I've been doing this for 13 years, and it can get repetitive. And for me, a lot of times it's that repetitive spirit, like that habit of being repetitive in that sense, that can make it boring for me. And I've never said this before on a training, but if you've had a face-to-face convo with me or a FaceTime about this topic, I always say, like, I get bored very easily. And so I want to go ahead and say, for sponsoring, before Justin starts, what has really helped me these past few months, to have fun with my sponsoring, to not be bored, to not feel repetitive. It's interesting that they want us to say, like, it's not just a number, it's not just a number, but this is a numbers-based business. So it does matter, right? If you are not consistent in sponsoring, and some of the stuff Justin will say.
Yeah.
So one thing that has helped me, though, that I'll say, especially the past 3 months. Some of you guys know my health journey and where I've been and why I've been a little bit MIA, but as I have felt the way I've felt, like not feeling the greatest, how I have been able to have sponsoring conversations and sponsor people that are hitting certified and that are having big businesses, is having fun with it. So having those face to face, having those, I have a girl that I had a home party with her last weekend. I'm signing her on Friday. She's already certified. She already has pre-orders. So the highest and best use of our time as leaders, to remember, is those face-to-face, that finding the joy in it, having fun with it, connecting the dots. And really, too, the past 3 months, I've had to go back and be like, who are like customers I really want to actually connect with? Right. And I had to think about that, because for me, again, I don't like the repetitive nature of sponsor, sponsor, sponsor. Again, I get bored really easy. I just said that. And so what has helped me the most in that, because I feel like sponsoring is a big issue for a lot of people right now, is having fun with it, doing the face-to-face connection community things with my customers, really being intentional about community and having fun, and then going the extra mile. I had a brunch, a spooky brunch Saturday. Have a spooky brunch for them, set them up for success, have fun with them, sit down. We're meeting for coffee Friday too. So have fun in your business. If you're that leader who is feeling like you are burnt out, or like you are just not, if you feel like you're being repetitive, okay? If you feel like you're being repetitive, I want you to pause for a second, and I want you to, number one, make sure you're taking care of yourself. Y'all know I'm big on that. But number two, go, where's the fun in this?
Hmm.
And I had to go back to that and think, like, what used to bring me joy when I would sponsor, meeting these people, knowing these people. I know this girl's husband. He knows this girl's
Yeah.
husband. She's freaking great. And I had to go back to like what brings me joy and what does blessing people actually mean. I think we forgot as a community of consultants and as leaders what blessing people looks like. So I just wanted to say that before Justin got
Yeah.
started, so you can go ahead and
And
go.
one thing that I'm seeing as a commonality, and you guys can actually see everything in they can see the chat, so they can see a lot of stuff. You guys are struggling a lot with the same thing. So I've done I've done a couple trainings on this, but I always feel like with direct sales in general, and this is just with, you know, how direct sales work. Effort in, effort out. You always hear us say stuff like that. The more effort you put into this consistently every day, Chloe's came up with the formula 2 by 2 by 2 by 2. Obviously, that's going to have a direct outcome on your pay, how you get paid. This is one of the only business where performance, consistency, discipline, all those hand in hand will blow your business up. So this is where the conversation, is money important in business, I think is so important, because if money is what you were truly motivated by in this business, and joy gave you money in this business, say, let's say Cincy, if it's money, then your passion, your drive, and everything would work towards that. So I always tell people with Cincy, it's more than just money and a paycheck. Yes, this can totally bless you. This can change every bit of you. But one thing that I've been thinking about and pondering on lately is,
Wondering,
that's a fancy term. Look, but one thing that I've been thinking about
great.
is the hyper growth we all experienced, or most of you guys experienced, that hit the highs, you hit the high paychecks. But once things started to not get easy, and I think that's where, on the outside looking at what Chloe did pre hyper growth, pre everything, the one thing that I noticed in her and a lot of the leaders that grew quick within Cincy was the discipline, the effort, the energy, and that, and the problem with those, and that's what I'm getting to in this training. The problem with this, and I just was coaching Little League Baseball, and this is something I would tell them. Things that I cannot coach, that I require them to do, and this is the only thing that will cause me to be disappointed in them, is their attitude, their effort, their discipline, and their energy. Those things we can't coach. Those things we can't train on. Those are things that you are just internally strong at, or you have to internally work on to get good at.
Can I pause? Can you
Yeah.
talk a little bit and go into what are ways that they can grow in that area?
That's
in
what
the
I'm training
effort?
on. Yeah.
That's great.
So that's what I want to train on tonight is, okay, we talk about it. If you went to our build leadership, we talked about it all the time. We went through all these different techniques from self-awareness to everything. So I just want to talk about being self-aware tonight and being honest with yourself. And that's why I brought up the money with Cincy, if money is your driving factor, because you can. If money is not a driving factor, or if money is your driving factor, you will work towards knowing how to make more money and knowing the effort and the energy. However, if that came easy at a point in time and then it got discouraging because you saw everything dropping, that's where you have to start developing a discipline towards what it takes to get to that pay again and what it takes.
That's great.
And that's something that I've just been thinking about a lot, because for us with the hyper growth, it scared us in a sense of like, what's happening? We can't work it in the effort we did because it's growing, because Chloe spent individual time with everybody in developing their leadership, which directly as superstar directors increases our pay, because if our frontline, second gen, and third line directors are performing, that's how you increase when you're a director or above, is off generational bonuses. For anybody who's not a director, your pay is still getting increasing with your PRV and how your team's performing. So you want them selling and developing them too. So it's a direct effort of you developing them to perform better. And
Can I pause you again? So how I feel like there's a lot of people, because this is so good, the topic we're on, there's a lot of people who just aren't developing. Okay. They're
Yes.
not developing themselves. So
That's
again,
the
ways,
discipline.
but ways they can develop themselves tonight, and then also ways that they can develop their team. Because
That's where I get that's where nothing about this is easy. And so that's where you have to choose your hard within this business, within Cincy.
And choose to like, yeah, choose your hard. I can't stand that term. It's also like choose your life.
Yeah, like choose your and
What's your life gonna, what do you want it to look like?
yeah,
Because everything's hard. Periods are hard, right? You have a period, periods suck. You're on a period. Like, I'm just saying, like,
I don't, but
thanks.
yes, I do.
Yeah, lucky you.
Yeah.
Lucky all the men on here. Yeah, women have periods. And it sucks. But it's like, I feel like when we say, and I've never even said this on training before, but when we focus so much on choose your hard or do it scared or do it anyways, we're already putting a negative, scary aspect on what we want. Okay. So to me, and what I would love for you to dive into is how do we help you understand that this will develop your life?
Yeah.
And how do you, if you don't develop as a business owner, if you keep saying, my sponsor wasn't this, or this wasn't this, or this wasn't, it was just hard, Chloe. I just didn't have it. I just didn't like, I would like for us to switch the thought process.
Yeah. And so what I was getting at, and when I said what you have to choose is the self-awareness first. You have to be like, okay, I'm struggling here. This is what I'm struggling with. I saw somebody, I think it was Michelle, somebody said time management. So for me, ways to get better at time management is the best way that it always works for me, because I'm having to go back through this now because I accepted a job in a place where I have to be strategic on what gets my time and what doesn't get my time.
Yeah.
So that's where you have to start ranking priorities and what is absolute need and something that's not so important. Like you have to start getting to a point, and this is something I try to tell Chloe whenever we're talking about things that have to get done. Like, is this an emergency? Is this just like something that can be done in a couple of days? Or is this something that has to be done like maybe this is something that we're looking at as a goal in the future and can be done later?
For me are priorities.
Everything's an emergency to Chloe, but I have to start then thinking, okay, this really is an emergency, so I'm going to focus on this first. And so as it was,
do that in their business. What are emergencies in their business if they're struggling right now to tend to?
So first and foremost, the only emergency in Cincy, in my opinion, and like I said, this is all subjective because this is from me outside looking in.
No, but say they're a leader, they're not paid at title, they're not, what would be emergencies they need to focus on and prioritize as a business owner with time management? That's what I want you to say.
Okay.
Not like there's no such thing as Cincy emergency. We know that, but for them.
No. There is Cincy emergencies.
No. There's
but what I'm getting at whenever I
missed us training together, didn't you guys? No, but what I want you to talk about, because I know how your brain gets, I want you to stay here, but help them. What are problems right now in the way that they are managing their time, maybe, so they can pick things that are important as a leader, important at if they're trying to generate 2,000 PRV a month, important.
So that's exactly what I was doing too. So right now, if you are a leader who is wanting to get paid at title, if you're a leader who is wanting to develop more leaders, not emergencies, but time management techniques for you that you have got to get consistent.
Is it not an emergency?
Yeah, I mean,
if you're not paid at title for a year, does that make y'all feel good? Who feels good about not being paid at title? Is not being paid at title an emergency? Yeah. If you're a leader.
Nobody likes that.
Right.
So in my opinion, I honestly, truly feel that as a leader, the way you get paid at title, the first and foremost thing, and this is what I was getting at, customers and PRV will always be the biggest emergency. And it's weird because this is something I noticed from Chloe. When Chloe takes care of her customers and is selling high, her team seems to follow. It's the weirdest thing. It happens in a way of Chloe sharing what she's doing consistently with her customers. If there's something new that customers are loving Chloe's doing, how she's following up, how she's taking care, how she's making sure they're happy with the product. That in and of itself will always be like at the forefront. How are you taking care of your customers? And I know we're talking about leaders, but you get your PRV in line and working well for you, then if your team is not performing, because like I said, it has a direct correlation to how many people you're seeing that's new that you can get to possibly join your team. Because at the end of the day, you can't control discipline, attitude, effort, or energy from your team. All you can do for your team is give them tools to be successful. And that's pretty much all you can do, minus the one-on-one time you spend with people that you see that in. That's where I would say an emergency is. Never skipping 1 week or 1 week or 2 days a week where you're not at least connecting with one team member one-on-one. How many on you here right now can confidently say that once a week you're at least spending time with two of your team members one-on-one to help them grow in their leadership or in their selves?
And if you don't have that many people, or if you're saying you have contacted anybody, my second question to follow up would be, how many new team members are you bringing in a month, and how many, you know what I mean? And so you've also have to look at not just if you are this is the other issue I see. You guys are like, I'm a great leader. I reach out to everybody. I do all this. And it's like, well, you've had a team of 12 for 3 years though. No one's sponsoring. You're not sponsoring. So also, and that was the biggest issue on here tonight, was sponsoring. So if you are also looking at, no, I'm great, I know everybody, I just don't get it, you're the problem. You need to sponsor. And how are you going to sponsor? You're going to go back to what brought you joy, what I said in the beginning. That will always work. It will always work. And so if I was not paid at title, I'm going to tell y'all right now, that would be an emergency to me.
Yep.
I would not be okay with being paid at title. And it breaks my heart that so many of you guys are continuing to run around this hamster wheel of, I'm not paid at title, but I don't want to find solutions on how. So I want to reiterate that this should be in your head. If you're a leader, if you're a lead consultant and above and you're not paid at title, that should be red flag, red flag, red flag. How are you going to use the sale tomorrow since he's doing? Did y'all see the sale? How are you going to maximize meeting new people? If you're not paid at title, I want you to tell me how you're maximizing meeting new people. Okay. He just started a new job. I sent him with so much stuff today to work. He hasn't even been through it yet for the girls there. Catalogs, samples, laundry care, books, all the things. No one asked. I don't care. I need to maximize my exposure. If you are not paid at title, I want you guys to tell me right now, if you're not paid at title, I want y'all to go in the chat. Are you maximizing your exposure to meet new people? Maximizing, not you said hey to Tiffany at the steakhouse, who was the waitress you love on Saturday. Are you maximizing the experience? So when I drive and get my kids, my license plate says Wax Queen. Everybody there knows I sell Cincy. Every single person there. So I just want y'all to think about that as he goes into give them maybe some solutions. You can go down.
Yeah. And so that's where I want to,
because it should be an emergency, right? Why is it not?
Yeah. And that's where I just want to just reiterate, that's something that it's funny because coaching and then going back to work is just something that I was just thinking about, like things to help give tools that people can be successful. But the one thing that gets frustrating, even for me and people that I directly mentor or talk to or business owners, is the attitude, the effort, the discipline, and the energy. And that's where, not trying to get super spiritual, you reading the Bible, that's all things that are within self that we have no control over anybody. Even with our son, our son right now, not that he's not anything's wrong, but we're trying to steer him in a direction that fits our family and what our family goal is. So we're eliminating some things until he can get the discipline and the maturity to get there. I can't control that in him. And Chloe and I said that to him tonight. Like, we can't control how you feel or decisions you make. That's up to you or what you do with your time. He had like 5 school assignments that he was like behind on. And we were like, bud, like, you didn't tell us. We didn't know. Like, we have to be in the know with this. And so that's just things, what I'm talking about from a discipline standpoint, that you just have to be self-aware of. And so and that's where, if you want to build discipline, I am terrible with discipline, or used to be. I used to be all over the place, have so many different projects, all these different things, especially after I left the bank the first time, those 8 years when I was starting to smash, doing all these different things, it like rewired everything in me. And I just got to a point where I couldn't finish things. And so I read a book, Atomic Habits, and then that's where I did a training a couple years ago. It was actually during COVID on daily habits because it's got me back in a rhythm, those habits and those consistent things. I know on this day at this time, I'm working on this. I did the training for this. So, like, for instance, if somebody was struggling with sponsoring, I would get in a daily habit of sponsoring. And what does a daily habit mean?
Meeting new people.
It's meeting one new person and explaining to them what you do a day. That's 30 people a month. That's 365 people a year that you talk to, but it's daily habits done every day. And it's something that you have to write down and check in with yourself on and be accountable to yourself or find somebody that you can be accountable to. So if I was struggling with sponsoring, then one thing I would set a goal for myself because and then if you have somebody you talk to, hey, please make sure that I talk to at least one person a day and share that I sell Cincy. One person a day. That will give you 7 people a week. And then you will have another goal at the beginning of the next month. See if they ever started selling Cincy. That's 365 people a year if you do it one a day. Then if you want to get real aggressive, 2 people a day. Making one new prospect call a day to try to sell Cincy to somebody if they haven't have it. Once a week, I want to do one fundraiser a month. So once a week, I'm going to find nonprofit organizations that I can do a cent circle sell for to bless their league. Those are things I would be doing if this business was serious to me. If this business was something I wanted to use as a vessel to change my generational family plan, if this business was something I wanted to do to steer everything that I do. That's what consistency and daily habits I would do. There would not be a day or a time that would go by that I wouldn't do at least one thing that day for Cincy. And I'm saying that because there's lead consultants all the way up to star directors and superstar directors that have other jobs that can only do something. I promise you, you don't have to do 20 calls a day. You don't have to make 150 samples a day. That's
How much I sell at my home party Saturday?
over 1,000. You have
$1,200.
Yeah, it's crazy.
She's certified.
Yeah,
I know. After I close this party, and she certifies, we've earned the trip to Greece.
So that's the thing. So it's just
effort.
You have to have it in your mind if this is serious. Now, if this is not serious to you, which I'm assuming it's serious because you're on this call. So if you're on these calls, in my mind, you are wanting more out of this business. And the great thing about this business is for your taking. There's no cap on the possibilities this business can offer you. So I would get very, very consistent in doing one thing a day in each leg of the stool. One thing. That's it. That's 3 tasks a day. If you have more time, turn that into 3 tasks a day. And so that's the thought process. So right now, if you're only working Cincy transactionally, this business is going to be transactional for you. If you're only working Cincy when somebody orders from you or somebody asks you a question or you're trying to get the party to 200 just so people don't have to pay free shipping and you do a post, I have some order going in for free shipping. No, that's not working this business right. And that's okay if you do it that way. The Cincy's built to where you can work it however you want to. But I'm assuming that the 31 people on this call want to work the business to where it can change everything. So
and these are the topics and these are the conversations and these are the trainings that you need to expect going forward from us, because to be honest, it's been too soft. It's been the past 4 years, like, oh, it's been hard. That's why I don't like words like it's hard or it's scary or whatever, because now it's become like we've lost what it takes to build something. And building something, the fact that we are at this place of saying, guys, we got to do one habit a day. Do y'all realize, if y'all think about that, how insane that is to think that some of you are not doing one thing a day in your business if you take it seriously. So who we're talking to right now, we love all levels of all people. But if you are really trying to build something big, if you don't have a daily habit of Cincy, a daily habit, like you have a habit of you are doing something every day for Cincy, if you are taking it seriously, some people are going to see this recording and be like, oh my gosh, she said do something once a day. I absolutely did. I don't do stuff on the weekends, but if you want to build a business, if you don't have a habit of doing something once a day in your business, I'm not talking about you made samples. That's not what I'm talking about.
That's why I said samples.
If you have done something that is going to move the wheel, fundraisers, things Justin was talking about, meeting new people, booking spooky brunches and spooky lunches. If you don't have habits, I don't have to be on social media to have habits. Does that make sense? Habit doesn't equate to posting. Habit doesn't equate to a VIP page. I want y'all to hear me. Habit is the freaking work. And that is what builds businesses. That is why Cincy is still so strong. And you see all these other companies crashing and burning. Cincy has a hardcore work ethic. Do you have that?
Mhm.
Because he watched me the first 8 years of my business and what I did. And let me tell you, it won't no frou 10 minutes a day. And I'm a post VIP page. What? I don't need a VIP page. I have VIPs in real life. I have built it. Are you building it? And that's why we have to stop beating around the bush with these soft trainings on, oh, it's hard. We've been saying it's hard the past 5 years because the news and the world is telling us that. What do you want? What do you want your life to look like? And what are you going to do to get there if nobody texts you, if nobody holds you accountable? How are you going to do it? Because I can tell you right now, I never a day in my life have had anybody in my business, a day in my business, have had anybody text me and say, did you do this? Did you do that? I don't need them to, because for me, this is my family's life. So I want you to dig a little more into like the bottom category of that focus to help them.
Yeah,
like,
and so that's where this is a good segue into what I was going to say next, and this is going to be a theme because I actually learned a lot coaching fall baseball for my son in Little League this year, because those were the things that I told the kids, as far as the attitude, effort, energy, and discipline. I just think that those are things that are, it's the non-coachables that actually build. Because all we're from a coaching standpoint and from getting you to a place that you want to go to, I can tell you how to get there, but it's up to you to have those things that I've said, from the the attitude, effort, energy, and discipline to get there. And so whenever you're starting to shift through that, now it comes to a point of, okay, I'm doing these things consistently, but I'm not growing. Okay, well, you're consistently doing the wrong thing. And that's where you have to be aware of the adaptation and the pivot you have to do to not consistently do the wrong thing anymore. And so, for instance, if it's growing sales, but you're reaching out to somebody once a day, or you're doing this once a day, or you're doing this once a day. All right, well, I'm not growing sales and I'm consistently doing this. So I have to find another way to grow sales, because obviously this isn't working. Let me try to find another resource or somebody I can ask what's working well for them. Or I need to meet new people. Let me see if there's any nonprofit that I care about, or a fundraiser, or something I can go to. What's the chamber got going on this week? What's events? Facebook is great for that, to see events going on in your local community, to where you can just go, take some stuff, give to people, new businesses in the area. Every city and every county in America has a Chamber of Commerce website where you can see new businesses that just joined the chamber that month. There's ways for you to find ways to get Cincy in people's life. And what I always say to this, and Chloe got mad at me because, I'm at a bank that's not our bank that we do most of our bank at, but I'm a firm believer in, you can't sell something that you don't use. And so I told her immediately, we're going to have to get an account there.
They know all about this with Cincy. Y'all know.
And this is something. And so what I want you to start looking at Cincy as is, yes, that bar can create an aroma of euphoria for somebody and just make them just always be happy. However, if you start looking at that bar, that can actually pay for food, because groceries are higher for a month for somebody if they sell this, you're going to start looking at that product a little bit differently, because especially if you have a servant heart and you really want to change somebody's life, it's not you being pushy, it's you just trying to help them provide more for their family by just offering a product that is a great product that they can get in front of their peers and everything to change their life. So when you start focusing on the things that made you join, always go back to what your happiest moment at was in Cincy, and what were you doing at that time.
Yeah,
And
it's important.
and hear me out. For those of you, if your happiest time was during COVID and the high sales because your paycheck was higher, go back and look at the numbers you were doing during that time. And what I want you to do is think about how it got there. If it's because people were at home and just spending money, okay, well, this is the goal I need to get back to because this is the happiest I was at my Cincy. What activities am I going to have to do to reach this number here, here, and here? How am I going to get back there to that? Go back to those numbers and look at what your team was doing. Okay, why was my team performing like this? Was it just because it's easy, or was it because they were just they were sharing the product? It went from us sharing the product to not sharing because people were just ordering anyway. I promise you, if you're just sharing the product, and what I mean by sharing, okay, I don't mean sharing stock images that Cincy actually puts on the website.
And they know that. Y'all been trained to death on
But I
that.
see it though. I
Yeah.
see it. And one thing that
They
I'll
want to
say,
see you. They want to see your hands and you talking. They want to see you. I
they
can
want to see
promise
your
you.
honest feedback and review. But I don't know. I know a lot of you guys pay attention to Chloe and her story. But one thing I noticed with Chloe lately, there's been so many things that drop. I've only seen Chloe share things that she's actually used, and our sales are higher because of it.
Because
Because
I just got to a point, y'all, to be honest, I don't even care if it's recorded. It was overwhelming. It was too many things. It was every Monday this, email this, everything was so transactional. And I was missing, like, Chloe, stop and like change your wax in the living room and show people your decor. Like, why are you losing who you are in the joy in it? And it's that joy, you guys, that is going to take you back to going, okay, why would this Cincy fit in this girl's life right here? I know she doesn't want to do a party, but I'm going to get her to, and we're going to theme it and we're going to call it a spooky brunch. And now she's going to join, and now she's going to have this, extra stream of income, and she's going to want to have babies
I'm
in
about to
here with
make
her husband.
look,
So, but again, it goes to that joy. That joy is something.
make Cincy fun again. I'm about to make a hat that says that.
Yeah, and it and the thing is I really
Or
want you guys to think though, like, are you having joy in your business? Because when I do things like what I did Saturday,
she was she
I
came
came back
she
and I
usually
was like,
comes back
this is
stressed.
great.
She usually come back stressed out from some Cincy things. She came back and it looked like she just came from a party. And look, here's the thing. I used to go with Chloe to like Concord all across the state where there are these Cincy parties. And she lights up like a light bulb at those things because people are interacting. And I promise you, it is very
It's
addicting
fun.
and intoxicating when you're seeing people
Yeah.
smell Cincy for the first time and you showing them what this product can do. Real quick, I want you guys to write in the comments because I think it's important. And everybody doesn't have to do this, but I want to read a couple. Tell me the most fun you were having in Cincy, what you were doing off the top of your head. Just something fun that brings you joy with Cincy that you just absolutely love. For me, you want to know what it is, and Chloe gets mad at me all the time. Opening up the scent of the months.
And I'll be like, don't do it yet. I gotta film it.
Yeah, she gets it, but it just brings me. I'm like, I always get excited opening up new scents. My kids get so excited, and that's the thing you have to do. Like, if that's what makes you excited, anything that makes you excited, you can make people excited
Like,
for it.
stop and smell the fragrance and stop freaking out about stuff that doesn't matter. It'll probably help a lot. Just slow down a little bit.
Look at that, Katrina.
Packaging
Listen,
orders.
I haven't seen you put packaging orders in your story in a while. Look, she just put her hand over her face. Like, dang. Smelling Courtney, yeah, smelling the orders like every time. Like, that's just something like, and Chloe knows, like, every time you get an order.
So, and something you guys can do,
because people love real and they see that.
This is going to help y'all a lot to understand whatever that passion and that joy is that you love the most about Cincy. I want y'all to start being intentional and make a pause moment. And when you're doing that something, I want you to just record yourself. Put your phone up, put your phone in front of you. You can do the slow-mo so it plays it back and it's real fast. Record yourself, stop and take pictures, post it. I dropped off orders today, for example. I love doing that. So I posted a picture just of my order at my customer's house. It's not transactional. That wasn't a transactional story post. That was, I offer this service and it brings me joy because I like taking care of people because that's who I am. So I want to challenge you guys. When you are, because y'all are typing out your joys with Cincy, and I love that. When you're smelling orders, when you're packaging a party, when you're going through the drive-through and you always have little packets and you hand it to the lady whenever you pay for your order, whatever you love to do with Cincy, share that.
Has any, okay,
that.
so let's see. Michelle, Debbie, Allie, and Shanika all said home parties or events. So why you got, okay, oh, what did I say?
You were close.
I said
Go.
Allie. Sorry. Well, when you guys are like at these events, or let me ask you this, are you doing these events consistently, small ones, doing this? Like, and are you doing like little recordings of yourself or recording your customers first time? Has anybody done this? Because I think this would be cool. Recording somebody the first time they're seeing Cincy and smelling it and recording their reaction.
If you're an event person,
If you're an event person, I think that those are the things right there. It's the experiences with Cincy and those things that create.
You know what I would do if I did a lot of events?
Debbie, yes, I can't
No.
wait to see it.
You
I
want to
can't
know?
wait.
You want to know what I would do if I was doing events? I'd have a tiny mic. Have y'all seen the tiny mic interviews?
Oh yes, that's a great idea.
I would have a tiny mic and I would randomly ask people questions and record throughout the day.
The good and the bad
My
too.
tent. And I would be like, hey, you've never used Cincy before? Would you eat a bar? What? They're edible. Did you know that? You could do the funniest stuff with tiny mics. I would totally be doing that if I was doing events and posting those things in your story and ads, reels, and putting the words up there too on the reel, the caption for the, you don't, that would be astronomical for those of you that do events. So many people would want to watch that. You have to think if you are social selling too,
we all are social selling.
Well,
we're just in that. It's just how it is now.
So then the question is, if you are, which all of us are, we're on social anyways, get paid for it. How are you generating the joy of Cincy to your audience? And I think that's what you guys need to start honing in on, that you're missing, because that is core. But if you're there's so many distractions, and it may be there's some distractions in your Cincy business that you need to just know, I'm going to have to give that up, man. I'm not going to be doing all the LTOs, right? I'm not going to be going all in on all these things, but how am I going to let people see what Cincy is through my story?
And real quick, how many of you, is it too late now? What's the last day they can enroll in Sin of the Warmer of the Month?
28th. What's today?
If you do not enroll in Scent and Warmer of the Month for the next month, the tree and the bar, Chloe has sold ours, already sold 4 or 5 of them. This thing's going to sell out.
The tree is done. I don't think they can get the snowman anymore.
No, the tree. The snowman. No, the Scent of the Warmer of the Month for next month's that glass tree, right?
It's a snowman, boo. It ain't a tree.
Oh, my bad. It's awesome though. You
don't even know. He don't even know.
Whatever. Y'all get what I'm saying. It's like
I sold.
That's what I'm getting at. If you're not, I challenge each and every, which is another story. If you're a leader and you're not enrolled in Warmer of the Month and Scent of the Month, that is free monthly marketing. And it's my favorite part of Cincy.
Pause. Warmer of the Month's expensive, so swerve. Bare minimum Scent of the Month, because it's going to challenge you to get your butt up and guess what? Sell. I don't know if y'all know this, but you run on commission. I don't know if y'all have seen Pretty Woman before when she said,
look at this. Look, I'm telling you.
You run on commission. Y'all run on commission, okay?
Y'all will do more by selling those products though. So like, even if you're enrolled in it for $90, you're going to get that money back.
Yeah.
If you're consistent with selling that $90 investment, you're going to get it back, plus possibly
and let me just pause and say, when I had that warmer at that party,
you sold it to a grandma.
Well, I sold 3, but grandma got to take it.
Now we don't have it. Now we got to get on at 3 o'clock in the morning to try to get it, and hopefully it doesn't sell out.
Customer is king anyway.
Exactly.
So they literally said to me, though, I want y'all to understand this, because for my event girls especially, y'all know this. They literally said, we would have never bought this if we didn't see this. So listen, if you've not done an event, Katrina has trained this to death. Go on our YouTube channel. It's on there. They're cheap. You need to get into position. I feel like there was an event Katrina had not long ago, or Alex. It was one of them where like all their stuff has sold. I think it was Katrina, but Alex does a lot of events too. But get in front of people, let them experience it, because that's going to unlock a different satisfaction of joy that you're going to see, and you're going to understand why Cincy is what it is.
Yeah, and
it's a big deal.
Allie, real quick, I'm gonna unmute. Sorry, Alex. I see the Alex, and I always think Allie. Alex, real quick, You just said something that's golden, that you front load $500 to $1,000 a month. I'm going to unmute you real quick. I'm going to give you about 30 seconds to explain that a little bit more and the importance of the scent and warmer of the month. Because I told Chloe this all the time before I unmute you. I actually go in monthly and look at who's enrolled in scent warmer of the month, because a majority of people that are enrolled in scent warmer of the month have high PRV, have high sales, are consistently doing things to try to better their business and doing that. So real quick, Allie, explain what you do with scent and warmer of the month, how you market it consistently with scent and warmer of the month. I'm going to ask you to unmute. I just want to hear you just real quick.
Okay. So, I mean, it's real simple. I get it. I show it. I go live. I show it. I make samples. I send them out to everybody that's ordered for me in the last 3 months. I follow up within 3 days, make sure I want to confirm you got your Happy Meal. How did you like it? What do you think about it? Would you like to book a party? If you don't want to book a party, would you like to do a pre-order? I collect a pre-order.
And you do that every month?
Every month since I joined.
So 12, how many customers would you say you send that to?
It's about 150 people.
So 12 times 100, like that's insane. So out of those, you get, so you're already guaranteed $500 to $1,000 a month from just that one mini habit you developed.
Yes. If I don't have my 500 on the first, I'm upset. I want my 500, if not more.
Okay. And then also, and if you don't know this, is fine. I know I'm getting a little too deep. I'm just nerdy like that. Out of those scent and warmer of the month follow-ups, how many of them would you say have joined your team?
Oh, several. And
So,
if they're not joining my team, they're joining Cincy Club.
Okay.
So, okay, that's all I wanted. That was golden, Allie. That's exactly what I wanted you to share. So, Alex.
There's an X. There's an X there.
Anyways, I don't know why I keep saying Allie, by the way.
Because Allie Widenhouse, one of our star directors, her name, it pops up as Alexandra.
That's a habit that I got to break, I guess. But okay, so what I wanted to get out of that is she said exactly what I thought she was going to say. From one mini habit, she's generating $500 in minimum.
Pause. That mini habit ain't no joke. That ain't no easy. Like it's hard work.
Yeah.
Okay.
She's following up with that many people sending samples. Like that's out.
Here's my question. Who on here right now, if you knew that you could grow an astronomical business, but it would take some time because y'all are consultants. It takes a little time to build things that last. Who would do what Alex just said? I want you to think about that. Would you actually do that? Every month? Would you build it? Would you do it if you sent it to 30 people and only had 4 respond? Would you do it the next month?
Yes. Why wouldn't you? Yes.
Really? What about when you've had a shitty day at work? What about when you're going through a hard time with your kids? What about when you're tired? What about when you're sick? What about when you're going through health stuff? Are you going to do it then? So I want to just make sure you understand, Alex is not just habitually amazing.
Non-negotiable.
It's not just the habit she has. Okay. It's not just that. You want to know why she's incredibly successful? She's disciplined. She doesn't need nobody telling her good job. She doesn't need a pretty image put up of her saying she earned something. She would like it. We all do, right? She does it because of that little boy that is in her house, her son. She does it for her husband. She does it. There's a discipline. So would you do what she's doing to get the results of a strong business? That's the question you really have to ask yourself.
And this is something that I want to challenge you guys with, is these little things, identifying things that Cincy already offers. I want you to go through the list on your workstation real quick. Has anybody looked at the report on your workstation on who's enrolled in Scent of the Month and Warmer of the Month on your team? So people have seen that. Okay, Katrina, I see your hand raised. Has anybody never heard of that? And if you haven't, that's fine. You may not have a big enough team to do it. Okay, everybody does it every month. I would encourage you to say something similar to what we just said about Scent Warmer of the Month. You can use Allie's story, you use your own story on if somebody's struggling getting people to buy. say invest in scent and warmer of the month for at least 3 months,
Do
because it
a
takes 90 days. Do a challenge
your
for
team.
3 months to have yourself enrolled in scent and warmer of the month, and follow the step. Allie said it. She goes, Alex said it. I won't say Allie no more, Alex, I promise. Alex just said it. She gets her list and she mails out the samples and follows up within 3 days and follows up specifically on that. What did they thought? Do they want her to put in an order for that scent? And then they eventually go into Cincy Club. And then some of them even join the team because they get the perk of getting the scent and warmer of the month every month. That's something you can sell, or a Cincy Club or a whiff box. I don't even need to go down that, or the laundry care. People will join just for laundry care. It's just crazy what people will join this for. So it's about finding that product or that tool or that resource Cincy offering and using it to make their lives better.
Helping them find fragrance, I think, is a core
Yes.
we've got to remember. That's why we all love Cincy. We love fragrance. If you don't love fragrance, I don't know. I don't know what to say, but
And it's getting, we got about 10 minutes left. So I'm going to give you another challenge real quick that I want you to do for the 29 people, 28 people on here that are still on here. This is what I want you to do. I want you to find a picture of you with Cincy at your happiest time and post it on the page and write why you were happy. And then I'm going to try to get everybody else challenged to do that. It doesn't have to be a picture specifically of you with a Cincy product, but just at a time with Cincy and why you were happy and what it was, that aha moment, whatever it is. I just want you to find a picture of yourself, post it on the page, and write why you were happy with Cincy. And that's it. Because I guarantee
it could
you.
even be a screenshot with
Do
a
you like that?
customer. I'm going to do it after this. So I'm actually going to post one. Like, another thing that brings me joy is when I pick out scents for a customer and they love it. And when I texted her tonight after I dropped her order off, I was like, Sam, what did you think of those 3 bars? And she was like, I loved them. And it's because I knew she likes bakery and I knew what she liked. And that's what brings me joy. So that's
So,
why I'm going to post. But yeah,
tell them about what you did for Mike Hickman.
what did I do?
She has a customer that literally would just text me and say,
yeah.
I need a re-up. And I text it to Chloe and she knows what he wants. And he texts me, obviously, because he doesn't text Chloe because it's a male. They don't text my wife. He'll text me.
Some guys I text, I just don't mess with him.
But
I mess with that guy.
But anyways, what I'm saying is he was just like, I need a re-up. Didn't say the sense, didn't say anything, and she just picked him out for him. And so I just think that that is freaking awesome that trust is there. And how many of your customers do you have that with? And how do you grow them that by them trusting you, by you being consistent, by you always showing up and having that in your business? You're focusing on that customer relationship. And I can't stress this enough. If you're not in your local community, if you don't know the chamber events, if you don't know what's happening, if you don't know the major players,
if you're not donating Cincy at massive events that take place in your area, right? If people are not coming to you to get a donation for that, or if you're not plugging into that donation, a lot of people look at it as like, I don't want to do a donation at that event because nothing's going to happen. But, oh crap, we're freezing. But I just want you, it's freezing.
No, it's not.
Look at me. Kind of. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
But I just want you to remember that when you give to that charity, right? Whether it be Boys and Girls Club, or I do so many different events here.
Yeah.
That coordinator running that event is the one you're doing that for.
Yeah.
If it's a great, I mean, y'all know the good ones and bad ones, but I'm saying if you were donating, if somebody asks you next time to donate for something, I want you to not just shut them off so quick. If it's an event in your area or something you're passionate about,
yeah,
and donate a basket to them and make sure, again, that coordinator, whoever's running it, I've made so many I've had people order from me before because I saw you had a basket out at this event and you supported it. So I want to support you. So those things do really matter too.
Yeah. And so and it could look different. Like I can already think about my favorite moment in Cincy for me is when my wife earned Greece because she didn't think she could do it. And I'll never forget that ever. But that was my favorite moment for me, was knowing that, hey, oh my gosh, we're about to fly to Greece. And I haven't even been out of this country except for our honeymoon. And prior to that, I never was out of the country. But I'll never forget, because it was like a full circle moment for me, because it was our first SFR we went to. They announced a top 100 trip. Chloe said something to me like, I guess I'll never earn that. I said, yes, you can. And then a year later she earned it. And it was just like a full circle moment for me of like, dang, like we're about to go to Greece. Like this really happened.
Earned it and then went 28 weeks pregnant.
And it's just
Not-
crazy
probably
to
not
me.
best choice.
And I'm sure, like I see Bart's on here, there's been moments in Cincy for him as a husband. You know, I know for Chloe's dad, him seeing us at reunion and everything that we were doing, and with Lee, that was probably their favorite moments with Cincy, or seeing things like that. It's just there's things where you'll see things happen in Cincy that you didn't think were possible, and it will come full circle for you. And so that's why when Chloe says leaders are born at events or incentives or whatever, I truly believe that, because then you see that this is real.
Well, because you unlock your own potential when you realize you've earned an incentive. You unlock your own potential when you realize you made a priority to be at that event that you had to stretch to go to. It confidence builds people.
Yeah.
And so anyway,
It's
so I think
that,
it's a great
yeah.
place to leave it.
And so, yeah, that's it. And I guess I can stop the recording